So let me step back and talk about where the banking industry per se is in the digital journey. It's no longer a nice to have feature, it's a must have. Yeah? And I think far too long banks have sort of doodled around this subject, and they have been fairly siloed in terms of how they react. So it's been their own ecosystem, they create it, they operate it, and they play it, and then they try and outplay competition. When it comes to digital, the way I see it is, there are enormous pressures that the industry per se is facing. Yeah? It is regulatory, it is competitive, it is the economic situation that you're operating in. And there are these rude competition which is coming from unknown territories. Yeah? The Ubers of the world and the Facebooks and the Googles, the fintech companies, right? So they are also posing their own new challenges, which is moving the cheese away from the traditional banks. So in terms of what the banks need to do, it's they need to be quick, they need to adopt, they need to lead it, and they need to be persistent with it. So it calls for enormous leadership, it calls for a lot of commitment, and it is also calling for an attitude to stay invested and quickly learning and correcting as they progress in this journey. So it's a combination of things. I think it's a question of digital literacy, yeah, and not getting daunted by it, but rather looking at it as an important and a critical ally in their strategic journey. So they need to try and leverage the technologies that is available, and also have the courage to build what is already there in play. Typically you get very caught up with, emotionally attached to your current ecosystem, and so it's a question of trying to actually embrace what is out there in the marketplace. And the world of technology is so rapidly changing. You need to have the courage to bend or undo some of the decisions that you've taken, and then put money on the table and stay invested, and have the faith to continue in this journey, because that's the only way forward. So, unlike some of the other industries wherein platforms have come in play, if you look at transportation, what is happening with the shipping industry, if you look at logistics, what Amazon has done with it. In the banking space, there aren't too many, use cases or great examples of a platform being readily available for any, new financial services company to just leverage their brand and get their customers and just use and operate it. That's not yet come into play. I don't know how long we can stay away from it. I think the time has come. It's just a question of trying to create some good, successful experiments. That is one. Second is, I think, regulatory mindset. There is we still need to get some clarity around the fuzziness in the compliance space. And the last but not the least is, how do you ensure that even if it becomes open source, you're able to keep your customers, right? If any brand is able to operate with the confidence that they're just leveraging a platform but not losing out their customers, then I think that will definitely dramatically change the adoption in this space.